There was no declaration of war, and therefore no real chance for Poland to defend herself against the 1.5 million troops who stormed the 1,750-mile-long border between Nazi Germany and Poland. The Germans came from all directions and utilised air, land and sea to take back what they believed to be theirs. The lands, the forces, and the German pride that had been taken from them in the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. They came to conquer and colonise. The undermanned Polish defences were overwhelmed by Hitler's blitzkrieg, lightning war. The country fell to its knees as its airfields were destroyed. German ships and U-boats attacked the Polish navy. The major cities of Katowice, Krakow and Warsaw were torched, and their fleeing civilians were strafed indiscriminately by machine guns from German aircraft. Poland never stood a chance. Hitler had it all planned. He'd carefully orchestrated and stage-managed a performance, complete with costumes, choreography, entrances and exits, to make the world believe that it was Poland, not Germany, who was the agitator. Hitler was only acting in what he called justifiable self-defense against Polish attacks on German soil the previous night. And so it was that the night before, 31st of August 1939, in the border town of Gliwice, SS men dressed in Polish army uniforms had stormed one of Germany's radio stations from which they broadcast an anti-Nazi message in Polish. A Silesian farmer named Franciszek Honiok had been arrested the previous day and brought to the station. Dressed in a Polish uniform, he was killed and his body left at the entrance of the transmitter station. Germany staged 20 such bogus Polish incursions into their territory. Criminal prisoners from camps such as Sachsenhausen and Dachau were dressed in Polish uniforms and killed by German soldiers on sight. Their bodies were then posed to create a ghastly spectacle. All this was done to create the illusion of the two sides being involved in a series of gun battles, giving the impression that it was the Poles who had invaded Germany, not the other way round. The Polish state has refused the peaceful settlement of relations which I desired and has appealed to arms, Hitler wrote of the fake attacks in his proclamation to the army. In order to put an end to this lunacy, I have no other choice than to meet force with force from now on. Despite the elaborate charade, to the world outside it was clear that this was a ruse, and that Hitler's invasion had been planned for weeks. The invasion plan, codenamed Fall Weiss, ended nearly 2 decades of relative freedom. However, Great Britain and France had pledged to fight in Poland's defence should the Germans invade, and much to Hitler's surprise, they kept their word.